Alrighty, we're gonna actually start off standing this morning. So if you want to come up onto your feet. And we will be lifting our arms, so make sure you have room next to you to bring your arms out. Let's set the feet. We're gonna take a look down, make sure the toes are pointed forward. We're about hip distance apart. And we're lifting up nice and tall through the center line of the body. And let's bring our shoulders round. So up and back and down and forward. So to start, some nice slow shoulder rotations. Warming up the joint. And you can start coupling that movement with your breath. So we're inhaling up and back, and then exhaling down. See if you can relax through your elbows and wrists, all the way down into your fingers. Two more, just like this. And then the next time that your shoulders are up by your ears, we're going to squeeze them up, press them back, and drop down. Okay, so keeping the breastbone lifted, we're going to release the chin now towards the chest. And just let your head be heavy. And now taking the fingertips to the back of the neck, and we're going to draw little circles down the back. So we're just out from the vertebrae on each side. You probably feel those two big muscles that protrude when the head is released. And we can draw circles, we can drag the fingers up and down, whatever feels good. And we might also take our fingers along the base of the skull. So along that bony ridge in the back of your head, out towards the backs of your ears. As you're moving your fingers, release your jaw. And we can work down into the place where the neck and shoulders meet. So maybe some pinches here. Meeting the muscles behind the upper back. Soft forehead, soft eyes. And then when you're ready, you can take the arms back alongside, and we're going to inhale, bring the arms up parallel to the floor, flip the palms towards the ceiling, and exhale overhead. And inhale, and flip, and exhale. Inhale, flip, exhale, inhale, flip, exhale. Okay, so keep going with your breath, and just seeing if you can time your movement to your breath. Focusing in on how we're breathing. Let's do it all in one breath now. So we're inhaling and exhaling. Double time. About two more. Next one. The arms out a little bit. Let's step just a little bit wider, soft fist with the hands. We're going to twist, keeping our eyes forward. Just let the arms flail. And just keeping that lift up through the crown. Maybe we're coming up on the opposite toes. Let go along the spine. Alrighty. And then we'll come back to center. Once again, we're stepping underneath the hip joints. And we're going to interlace the fingers now, place them underneath the chin. And as you inhale, we're going to stand up tall, open the elbows, and look up at the ceiling. Okay. So we're inhaling, we're opening the front of the body, lifting the elbows, looking up, filling the belly, filling the chest. And then as you exhale, we're emptying and dropping the elbows. Bend down into your knees a little bit and roll forward, squeeze all the breath out. And 4 more just like this. Inhaling, we're filling the belly. We're filling the chest. We're lifting the elbows and looking up, open the front of the spine. And then on the exhale, emptying the chest, emptying the belly, and bending down into the knees, squeeze it. Good. So keep going. Good morning, welcome. And again, trying to time your movement with your breath. Two more. And on your exhale, just come right back to neutral. Okay, we're going to interlace my fingers now behind the back, and the hands are just sitting on the back of the sacrum. And we're going to be tipping over at the hip joints. So we're going to keep a neutral spine, nice and tall through the crown. Let's inhale and tip forward. And wherever your body comfortably stops, stay there. And then bend your knees, exhale. Do 5 just like that. Inhale, nice and long through the crown where you stop. Bend your knees, exhale. Keep going. Inhale again, come forward, and this time we're going to stay there. So your eyes are down on the floor. See if you can bring your shoulder blades together. And then maybe you can straighten your elbows, and maybe the arms come up off the back. So if that's too much in your shoulders, just let your hands stay on the sacrum. Otherwise, we're lifting the arms up. A little softness in the knees, 2 more breaths. Hands rest, bend your knees. Shake the arms out a little bit. Step just a little bit wider. And now we're going to bring the heels of the hands into the lower back. Bend down into your knees a little bit. And let's bring the pelvis around. Big hip rotations. And you can let the heels of your hands support your lower back. And let's take a few the other way. So switch your direction. More big circle. And back to mountain pose. So we're going to be doing something now that's called the Taoist breath. I know a lot of you have seen it, some of you haven't. It's going to involve a forward bend at the end. So if you like a block for a standing forward bend, have that handy now. And in general, whenever we do any of these sequences that has a forward bend in it, there's 2 ways you can do it. So one is what we call ragdoll, and that's just hanging, right, with the whole head, shoulders relaxed. So ragdoll is not great for everybody. So some people get dizzy. Some people don't like having the weight of their head hanging. Another option in a forward fold is to soften your knees and rest your forearms and keep your back neutral. Okay, so either of those is a good choice, whatever feels better in your body. Okay, let's take a nice big inhalation. And we're scooping the arms up. Hands behind the head. Exhale, push out towards opposite wall. Soften your knees a little bit. Fingertips are on the shoulders, stand up tall, breathe into your heart, slide your shoulder blades together, eyes to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, we're going to bend down into the knees and push through your hands. We're rounding the spine just like we do in our cat pose. Inhale, nice and tall. Let's lift the heart to the ceiling, little back bend. And then as you exhale, come forward into your forward bend. So if you're using the block, bend your knees, hands are down on the block. You're comfortable with the hands on the floor, hands are on the floor. And then you can either keep your back straight if that's better, or let the head fall, let the shoulders fall, come into ragdoll. And from this ragdoll position, looks like everyone's chosen that. Let your head just hang. Let your shoulders just hang. And we can start to feel that lengthening through the spine. Keep your breath deep. And we might start to feel a kind of warmth or fullness in the forehead and the cheeks. All right, so that's a good thing. We're bringing our circulation up into the head. And then when you're ready, we're gonna draw the belly in, bend the knees, and start to roll ourselves back up. Standing tall, shoulders to the ears and back. Good. We're gonna do this 2 more times. Inhale, swoop the arms up, soften your knees behind the head, push opposite walls, exhale. Fingertips to the shoulders, stand up tall, breathe into your heart and look up. Exhale, press, bend your knees, round your spine. Inhale, stand up tall, heart to the ceiling, little back bend, and then exhale, soft knees, fall forward, finding the block or the floor, releasing the head and shoulders. We'll stay here for just about 3 breaths. And then soften your knees, draw your belly in, roll up, shoulders to the ears and back. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale, opposite walls. Inhale into the heart, eyes up. Exhale, push. Inhale, nice and tall, little back bend. Exhale, soft knees, fall forward. Again, we'll stay here for about 3 breaths. Let it go, head, shoulders, heavy. And then soft knees, belly in, let's roll up. Shoulders to the ears and back. And okay, let's take a wider stance. And so if you're on a mat, if you want to face the long way at this point, you could do that. And we're going to turn the thighs open so the toes are pointing at the short corners of your mat. We're going to do a little bit of squatting. Okay? So I'm not squatting very deep because I'm still watching my knees. If you can squat deep and it's comfortable, you can definitely do that. Okay. So hands are at the heart. And we're going to bend down into the knees and drop the hands. And then inhale, come up. Palms touch, exhale, squat down into the knees. Inhale and scoop. Okay. Exhale to the heart, down into the knees. Let's do about 4 more. Again, you can follow your breath. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And just imagining you're gathering fresh energy into your palms, and then as you exhale, drawing it down into the body. More, inhale, reach up. And exhale, bend down into your knees. And then if your block is still there from ragdoll, or if you don't need one, we're going to bring the hands forward. So your knees are bent. You're going to either come out onto the block with the heels of the hands. If you don't want the block, the fingertips can be down on the floor. Okay. And we're just going to start bending opposite knees. So we're just lunging from side to side. If you feel like widening your stance here a little bit, you could take a wider step. Just gliding the pelvis from side to side. And then you might bend down into one knee, and we'll just stay here for a moment. You can take a few breaths. So you have weight in your legs and some weight in your hands. And then let's glide across, put some weight into the other, bending into the other knee. Again, putting some weight in the feet and the hands. And then coming back to center, let's see if we can have the knees as straight as they go. Again, fingertips are either on the floor or the heels of the hands on the block. And we're going to come into a twist here. So let's take the left hand and place it in the low back. And the belly turns left, chest turns left, left arm lifts. So windmill position. Again, the legs are either straight or we're bent down into our knees a little bit. And then we'll come back to neutral. To windmill to the other side. So right arm in the low back. Belly turns right, chest turns right, right arm lifts. Breaths. And you might feel that the heel of your hand is kind of pushing the block away, so you're a little taller. And then back to neutral. And we're going to do each side one more time. So when you're ready, left arm in the low back, open the body to the left. When you're there, arm lifts. Maybe your eyes are on the ceiling if your balance is okay. And then let's close. One more time to the right. Right arm in the low back. Belly turns right, chest turns right, lift the right arm. And close. Good. And once you're back with your hands on the block or the floor, let's just lunge again a little bit. So again, we're gliding from side to side. And next time the pelvis is in center, let's bring the hands to the sacrum. So we'll intertwine our fingers, rest the hands on the backs of the hips. Bend your knees, push in, and tip. All right, step the legs together. Walk a little bit, put everything back where it was. A little bit of that. There you go. Okay, so let's come on down to the floor now. We're going to take an open leg position here. So let's bring the heels apart and lift your sit bones for a minute and sit right squarely on both sit bones. The backs of the legs feel tight. You might bring a little cushion or something under your sit bones. And let's just flex the feet. So we're going to spread the toes, press through the heels, and then point, flex, point. And then let's move the ankle joints. So the big toes are drawing circles up on the ceiling. Draw your circles the other way. And then relax your feet. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of brushing. We'll take the fingertips down between the legs, and the right fingers will just brush towards the ankle and back. Left fingers brush towards the right ankle and back. Okay. You can actually brush, or if you're up a little higher, you can reach. Right? Come back. Hold this tip back. Okay, and then next time you're back in center, we're going to tip forward. So if you know you like some kind of support, we're gonna hold this for about 3 minutes. So it'll be a little bit of a longer hold. Might not be a bad idea to have a block or something to support your head or your arms. So tipping the pelvis forward, again, we're looking for our edge where our body stops. And when you kind of get to that stopping point, you can keep your back flat again, just like we do in forward folds. Or you can do a more of a ragdoll, which would let the head and shoulders fall. So for some folks, letting the head fall gets uncomfortable after a while. It can be a strain in your neck. So if you want to use your block, you could rest your face in your hands. Support your head if it gets to be a little too much. Another way is with a tall block, you can stack your fists and rest your forehead. So our idea in this position now is to get really soft. So if there's some way you can support your head, it'll be easier to do that. So whatever feels better. So the blocks are nice, or if you prefer bolster. And then as you're here, just let your body fall. Relax through your shoulders, through your upper back. Becoming happy. You can scan your body, just notice where there's tension. And so for most of us, this is either mainly in the back of the legs or mainly in the inner thighs. Sometimes it's in my lower back too, and my back feels tight. So just let your awareness go to the places where you feel this posture most. And see if you can bring some softening to those spaces. Just letting go, letting go. And you might also bring your awareness to the rest of your body. Right? So there's places in you that seem to have nothing to do with this posture. And just notice if you're holding tension there as well. So it might mean now relaxing your feet, your jaw, your upper back. And we're just surrendering the body to the weight of gravity. When we hold something for a long time, sometimes we start to let go, and we might feel we can drop in a little more. Sometimes it might get to be a little too much and we want to come up a little bit. So respect what your body's telling you. And as we kind of conclude this posture, we're going to move into an ujjayi or ocean breath. So for this breath, you just constrict your throat a little bit and you can hear yourself breathing. So it's a breathy breath. Comes across the microphones, people call it a Darth Vader breath. But the idea is that we can now hear our breathing by constricting a little bit, making a breathy breath. And it's a constricted airway, but the breath is still very long. So just as we did in the beginning of class, you're completely filling on your inhalation, the belly, the chest, and completely emptying on the exhale.
And then get to the bottom. Excuse me. When you get to the bottom of the 10th breath, we're going to start to think about coming up. You can start to very slowly walk your hands back towards your body.
And take any props from between the legs. Yin style long hold poses. We always come out slow and we're always a little stiff after in a good way. Walk your legs back together. And again, roll your ankles, wiggle your toes. Let's bring that energy down into the feet. So let's have the strap nearby. Do you need a strap? Okay, they're right on the back of the door. Okay, and we're going to work on a derivative of cow's head pose. So we're not going to use it right away, but it's here. And you can either stay in staff pose if that's comfortable, or if you want to come into Sukhasana, our easy pose. And let's just bring the shoulders around 3 times, so 3 big circles. And then we're going to open up into cactus arms. Okay, so our upper arm is parallel with the floor, fingers are spread. And we're going to imagine that somebody is walking up to you and pushing into your palms. So your elbows move back. So we'll feel our shoulder blades slide together and the chest open. Stay here, and as best you can, so you can keep your shoulders away from your ears. So sometimes when the elbows move back, we go up. But keep your shoulders down. And then we're going to come into a self hug. So for this one, the right arm is going to be on top. Walk your fingers back, see if you can hold the back of your shoulder blades. And then we're going to drop chin down towards the chest and very gently squeeze your shoulders towards one another. So here we go again. Let's inhale and open up. Come back to your goalpost arms or cactus arms. Shoulders are down, neck is long, elbows pressed. So here, keep breathing. And this time the left arm will be on top. So coming across the front of the body, finding our shoulders. You gotta hold on them, let your chin drop, and gently squeeze the shoulders together. And we're going to open with the arms straight. So let's inhale, bring the arms open. And exhale, relax. Okay, so we're going to work on cow's head pose, which is one of my least favorite poses in all of yoga. Which is why I have to force myself to do it once in a while. And I went to a class last Tuesday and I thought, oh yeah, I remember that. So as far as the legs, you can just stay in easy pose, right? Or whatever seated position is good for you. Another option is to do a half cow's head on the legs. So for that, you bring your legs out, pick up your right leg and bring it across. So your bent right knee would be resting above your left knee. If you're comfortable in full cow's head pose, you can do that too, which is bringing the left leg back. Okay. So for me, these days, this makes my right hip lift and it's not steady. So I don't choose it anymore. I don't choose it these days. So I prefer to have my left leg straight. So notice in your body, if you bring the left leg back, what happens? Are you still firmly on both sit bones? And if you are, you're good. If your hip is lifting up, let's keep that bottom leg straight. Seems safe. Okay. We got the strap now, and the left hand is going to hold the strap. You can wrap it one time. Toss the tail behind you. And when you're ready, we're going to bring the left bicep up by the left ear. And then bend the elbow and let the palm of your hand touch your upper back. So wherever it falls, it falls. Right hand faces the back of the room. And then the elbow, come up behind the body and find your strap. So you can work your arms towards each other. Again, don't be in a place where it's pulling. All right, it's definitely intense, but if it's too much, slide the arm down a little bit. Much higher than my lower back. Okay, and then once you're here, you can stay nice and tall. You can kind of let your head settle into the back of your hand. And then only if it's okay, you can tip forward just a little bit. Let's be here for about 8 breaths. You do have cow's head going on in your legs. You'll notice in your right hip, right outer thigh, lengthening going on. Make sure there's no pain in the knee joint. More breaths. And back up. Have your right arm slide down the strap and come out. Left arm comes out. Good. Nice and slow. Start to move those joints. Roll our wrists. And shake the arms out. Okay, other side. You're in easy pose. You can just stay where you are. You're doing cow's head pose. Legs are out in front of you. And we'll bring the left leg across, resting the left knee above the right. Again, if it's workable for you, you can bring that left leg. So many variations. Okay, strap goes to the other side now. And we're going to wrap the strap around the right hand. Bicep by the radiator. And then as you bend your right elbow, the palm of the hand touches the upper back. Left hand towards the back of the room. Your elbow. And then come in and find the strap. Once you're there, if there's a room too, you might walk your hands towards each other. And now relax your head, let it kind of rest into your hands. There's no neck strain. Stay here or tip forward a little bit. You just notice that you can relax your shoulders here. It's kind of an uncomfortable position that will make us tighten up. Relax your shoulders, soften your grip a little bit on the strap. You're ready. Hip up if you're forward. Left arm comes out. Right arm comes out. Slow motion. Let's wiggle the fingers. Let's move the wrists. Shake out the arms. Okay, so we've been coming forward a lot. It's a good opportunity now to do a back bend. So we're going to do Sphinx pose, and there are lots of different variations of it, so you can pick whatever works best. Okay, flip over onto our belly. And the most basic variation of Sphinx pose, here, for those that aren't using, is to have the elbow underneath the shoulder, arms parallel. So that's kind of variation A. And you can pay attention to how that feels in your lower back. Okay, so it's good for the lower back to get a little squeeze. But if it's too much, your elbows can come out and you can lower your upper body. And a place where the lumbar spine is stressed, right? So it's good for us to stress our bones or joints. And the lower back is a place where we often have discomfort. It's also I think the most prevalent place for osteoporosis to develop. So stressing those little vertebrae is a very good thing to do, but it can't hurt. So it hurts come a little lower. All right, it just feels like squeezing is good. Stay here for a couple, maybe about 2 minutes. Begin style hold. Want a little bit more squeeze. The heels can come in. So only if you're comfortable, heels come in towards the buttocks. And wherever your elbows are, stay nice and tall so we're not sinking into shoulder joints. You don't want to be droopy and tall in your joints. And you might start to follow the pathway of your breath from your nostrils down to your navel. So on the inhalation, feel how the breath moves in, travels down to the belly and fills the belly. And then follow the exhale up and out through the nostrils. Five more breaths. Nice and tall. And now we do have your heels up. Let's slowly bring the legs down to the floor. And we're going to come down to resting on the right cheek. So you can lower your head down. And then when you're down on your right cheek, let's bend the knees, point the big toes up at the ceiling. And we're going to windshield wiper the legs. And then let's gently lift the head, come now to resting on your left cheek. Toes are pointing at the ceiling. We're going to spin at the knee joints. So the two lower legs are going to be circling together. Get this nice and slow. If you're concerned with your knees, keep your circle small. Some space in those joints, one way. And then alternating, drawing circles the other way. When you're ready, we'll bring the legs back down to the floor. Make sure you're on your kneecaps. Hands are on either side of the rib cage, and we're going to press up into a child's pose. So up through table, sit bones back. So child's pose will give you a nice lengthening through the lower back. If you'd like to grab your block for your forehead, you can do that. So good to have the head down. That means the seat is up. That's completely fine, especially if we're not kneeling. And then you might start to walk your fingertips away from your body. So just like little spiders. And as they walk away, we're lengthening them. And then start to walk your hands back towards your body, coming back to table. And we'll start to move through some of our cat and cow stretches. The knees are under the hip joints, wrists are underneath the shoulder joints. And we'll drop the sit bones down, arch up along the spine. Pressing the hands into the floor, releasing the head. And then sit bones are lifting, belly falls, chest falls. And now moving along with your own breath, a nice slow articulation of the spine.
And then the next time your back is at neutral, let's step the hands one step farther away from the body. And we'll bring the whole pelvis in rotation. Drop the hips forward. And then out to the side and back. Other side and forward. Circling the pelvis. Bend in your elbows. Let's do about 5 circles in each direction. Switching when it's time to switch. And then when you're ready, let's walk the hands back towards the body. If you can kneel down, go ahead and kneel down. If not, kneel up. And in this position, we're going to turn the toes under. And so if it feels okay, we're turning the toes under, and this is just stretching the feet. Hands are at either side of the shoulders. Let's press out through the palms. And make fists with the hands and drop the fists. Your lower back is relaxed without pressing the pelvis forward. And relax. Hands come back. Press forward. And then we're going to make claws. So your claws are very tense. Right? So squeeze your hands. And then we're going to circle the wrists. Nice and slow. Just like you're holding on to maybe a softball for dear life. Way. Okay, coming back to table, we're going to take a down dog now. Okay, so I'm pre-warning you. Come into your table position. Toes are under. Let's lift the sit bones up. And just give yourself a nice full body stretch. Bend opposite knees, stretch out through the backs of the legs. And let the palms of your hands press the floor away from you, lifting the sit bones. Our down dog. It's a great stretch for the whole back of the body. Lift up and down on our toes. And when you're ready, knees come to the floor, and we're going to come over onto our backs. And once you're on your back, knees are bent, soles of the feet are on the floor. And we'll just let the knees tip from side to side. Rolling out the lower back. And to our reclined hip cradles now. So we're going to pick up the right leg, place the right ankle above the left knee. Then there's a little flex in the foot and the knee presses away. So if the hip is tight, this might be enough. We can stay here. If we want a little bit more, the left thigh will lift and bring the leg towards the body. You might want to hold your thigh. And if you don't want to hold it with your hands, if you have your strap, you can actually thread your strap around your thigh. And that's kind of a nice way to do it because you can relax your upper body. You're not kind of reaching and lifting your shoulders off the ground. And then some folks like to straighten the left leg. You might see how that works. There's a little more leverage to draw the foot closer. Looking for that place again where you feel something, but it's not too much. Not too much to breathe deeply and maintain. Keep the shoulders and face soft. drawing the leg closer, closer. And then you're ready. Left foot comes back to the floor. Right foot comes back to the floor. And again, we're tipping the knees. Okay, recline hip cradles on the other side. Pick up the left foot, place it above the right knee. Left knee presses away. And now maybe the right thigh lifts. Again, you can just use the muscles in your legs to keep your legs in this position, or you can hold your right thigh, or you can use your strap. And then if you like straightening the right leg, you can do that. And just paying attention to sensations as they arise through the hip joints, through the buttock. One deep breath. And when you're ready, right foot back to the floor, left foot back to the floor. Using your strap, place it to the side. Okay, and now let's step our legs wide. So your little toes are either at the edge of your mat or off your mat. And we're going to work with the IT band a little more. So the right knee is going to dip towards center. And come up. And the left knee dips towards center. And comes up. It's a wide-legged windshield wiper movement here. One knee drops towards the center line, and the other one is just kind of neutral. Helpful movement. So this is doing something similar to cow's head legs, just a lot more comfortable. And maybe a lot safer too for the sacral area, side joints. Next time your right knee is dropping, let's stay there. And if you feel okay, if your back is okay here, the left foot could come up and rest on the right outer knee. And then if you're still comfortable here, the right arm can come overhead to the floor. So the back of your right hand is resting on the floor above your head. Still good. You can lift your head, turn and look to your right, and place your head back on the floor. It's almost as if you're looking at your right upper arm. Let's stay here for about 10 breaths. If it gets to be too much, just let your right knee come up a little bit. Otherwise, you can start to release the weight of the left foot into the outer knee. And keep your left arm relaxed, either on the floor or if it's more comfortable resting on your body. You might reach just a little bit through the right fingertips and then relax the arm again. And imagine your breath moving now through the right side of your body. Breathing into the right rib cage, the right side of the waist. Then relax your whole body.
And now let's pick up the head, look at the ceiling, and put the head back down. If your left leg is on your right, left leg back to the floor. And let's tip the knees back to the ceiling. And then bring the right arm back alongside. Let's move a little bit before we do the other side. Again, a little creaky. Knees are tipping. Circulation moving again through the lower legs. Moving your toes a little. And then when you're ready, again, you're still in your IT stretching position. Feet are on the edges of the mat. Left knee drops towards center. If your back is good, right foot comes up and rests on the outer left knee. If you're still good, the left arm comes above the head to the floor, back of the hand resting. You'd like that arm to be long, so again, you might reach through your fingers, reach, and then relax that arm. Still good. Head lifts, turn and look to your left, and place your head back on the floor. And we'll hang out here again for about 10 breaths. Imagine if you could soften your whole body in this position. So using your detective skills to scan through and look for tension hiding in hands, in shoulders, forehead. Relax and breathe into your belly. Softening the jaw, the eyes. And now let's bring our eyes back to the ceiling. Lift your head a little bit, look at the ceiling, back of the head on the floor. If your right leg is waiting, bring it back to the floor. Left arm alongside. Again, slow motion, tip your knees back to the ceiling. And we can set the feet back to underneath the hip joints, back to a neutral hip distance apart. Soft dips from side to side. And let's bring that up into the wind reliever. So hugging your thighs in towards your belly. Even a little nicer. Let's rock out the low back. And then we'll place the feet back on the floor. Take the heels of your hands to your forehead. And let's just press in and draw some circles. So we're working out any tension in the forehead. Down into your temples and your cheekbones. And then when you're ready, you can roll to your side and let's come up. Great. So time now for our final relaxation. You want to set up your Shavasana position, your corpse position, some kind of blanket or thin cushion behind your head. And then I really like, for myself anyways, a bolster of the knees. So to support your knees, that will keep your back a little more relaxed. You're in a cool space. A little blanket or jacket. Let's see. You can even tell they're on. And we'll have the shoulders rolled open. If it's comfortable, the backs of the hands on the floor. We're going to do one tense release. So coming up to the crown of your head, start to wrinkle your forehead, knit your brows together, gently squeeze your eyes shut, wrinkle your nose, purse your lips just like you're sucking on a sour lemon. Press your shoulders down into the floor, squeeze upper arms, squeeze lower arms, bring your hands into fists. Draw the belly in a little bit, squeeze buttocks, squeeze thighs, squeeze calf muscles, press out through your heels. Hold, hold, hold. Let go. Take a nice inhalation through the nose and exhale out your mouth. Again, come to the crown of your head. And now soften down into your forehead. Relax around your eyes and across your cheekbones. Relax the jaw, allowing the teeth to part just a little bit. Soften the insides of your cheeks. Relax your tongue. And now move around your ears. Draw your awareness into your ears. Soften across the back of your head. Relax the sides of your neck, the back of your neck. Soften your throat. Move around your shoulder joints, upper arms and elbows, lower arms and wrists. Relax your hands. As you soften your hands, feel your fingers curl. You might feel warmth sitting in your palms. Again, relax at the wrists and elbows and shoulders. And then down into the sides of your rib cage, sides of your waist. Down between your shoulder blades, down into your lower back. Soften the space around the heart. Through the mid-body, down into the belly. And as you relax your abdomen, start to notice the movement of your breath. On the inhalation, the belly is filling. And on the exhalation, the belly is falling. And fill the belly, exhale and empty. And see if you can relax the belly even a little more. Relax the glutes, hip joints, the muscles in the thighs, knees, lower legs, ankles. And now bring your awareness out across the tops of your feet, into the arches of your feet, across the tips of your toes. Relax your feet and ankles, lower legs and knees, thighs, hip joints. And now moving to the floor of the pelvis, start to travel up along the center line of the body, relaxing the spine. You might imagine each little vertebra dropping into the mat a little deeper. Go, let go. To travel up through your lower back and mid back. As you release up through the space between the shoulder blades. And up the back of the neck. Bring your awareness back to your face. And just noticing if any expression or tension snuck back into the muscles in the face. Allowing the expression to be so serene. And for a few breaths now, just noticing the movement of breath in the nostrils. The coolness of the breath as it moves in, and the warmth of the breath as it moves out. We're going to expand that to the whole body. So suddenly let your vision get much bigger and you can see yourself or feel yourself from your crown to your toes to your fingertips. And imagine as you inhale, every cell in your body was drawing in breath and the whole body expands. And then as you exhale, every cell in your body, every pore in your skin exhales. And the whole body softens. So incoming breath fills you from your crown to your heels to your fingertips with fresh energy, nourishing every cell in the body, drawing in energy, prana, filling every space in the body. And as you exhale, every place in the body from the crown to the toes to the fingertips, let's go. You might see yourself or feel yourself expand as you breathe in and soften down into the floor a little more as you breathe out. And we're going to start to use the sound of the mantra with this breath. So as you're inhaling and your whole body is filling, here in your mind, So. And as your whole body is softening and emptying here. So. Completely relaxing into the sound of the mantra. Allow the mantra to fill you. Allow the vibration of the mantra relax you and to guide your awareness inside. And now when you're ready, we're going to transition to our seated position. So being very gentle with yourself, you can roll to your side. And maybe roll to the right side, whatever works better. And taking a few resting breaths there. And then moving to your cushion or blankets. Just sit for a minute or two. Once you're back in your seated position, find the movement of breath in the nose. Just relax into your own stillness. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. And now when you're ready, warm your hands. And cup your hands over your eyes. Take a deeper breath. And then allow the eyes to open up into the palms of your hands. And the hands can come away when you're ready. So much for being here. Thank you. Namaste. Have a wonderful weekend. Nice frost. Well, actually, it's made it a little warmer. Yep. Enjoy a little bit of a warmer weekend. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Tracy.
It's good to see you again, Tina.
Yeah, it's
Welcome
nice to,
back.
thank you.